Constructing cymbals is a complex craft. It involves a mastery of raw materials, metal casting and handcrafting, and it requires a keen ear. UFIP artisans have the experience and know-how that bring those qualities together. The hometown of UFIP is Pistoia, a small city in Tuscany where the ancient Etruscans made metal percussion instruments as early as 500 BC. Cymbals, as we know them today, were first made in Turkey and China at the end of the Middle Ages.
Era talmente forte, diciamo, la presenza.
Around the middle of the 1800s, cymbals made in Pistoia became strong competitors for those from Turkey. Because of the far-reaching influence and fame of Turkish cymbals, craftsmen at UFIP imitated their style, marked cymbals with Turkish names, and signed them on the bell, as was common in the Turkish tradition until the beginning of the 1940s.
Fossero da credere veramente turchi.
Everyone knows about the classic Turkish cymbals. I personally feel that Turkish cymbal smiths were especially good at making jazz cymbals. I couldn't say the same for other kinds of music, but yes, they are superb for jazz. Today, we at UFIP are the world's only makers of entirely handcrafted metal cymbals and percussions. Our methods and techniques date back to the early 1900s. Between the 18th and 19th century, cymbal makers in Pistoia were famed for their bronze cymbals and percussion instruments. At that time, the Agati Tronci families had already gained widespread recognitions for their pipe organs.
La famiglia Tronci costruiva organi da chiesa.
The Tronci family started constructing church organs in 1701. 2 centuries later, it began making a range of percussion instruments. It was in the business with the Agati family until the beginning of the 1900s. Inside their body, ancient pipe organs often held other, smaller instruments that were used for special sound effects, and they frequently came accessorized with pedal-operated Turkish cymbals. When Europe went to war with Turkey, it became difficult to import Turkish cymbals, so smiths in Pistoia started to cast their own. When jazz was born in the 1920s, the drum set evolved substantially, and with it cymbals took on a new crucial role. Drummers like Baby Dodds, Zati Singleson, Paul Barbarin, Chick Webb and Gene Krupa all contributed to making these bronze instruments popular. Those were the golden years for Pistoia-made cymbals, which were sold worldwide. To meet the increasing demand for the most prominent foundries in Pistoia, joined forces and, on January 6, 1931, they established UFIP, which in Italian stands for Joint Italian Cymbal Makers. Today, UFIP is still run by the heirs of its original owners, the Tronci and Biasei families, who work with 15 experienced craftsmen.
Le persone che lavorano qui sono state preparate.
Since the 30s, we've had the practice of training our craftsmen personally, and we work with them shoulder to shoulder every day.
Tutte le volte che vado in giro e suono,
when I'm on tour, playing in large venues or clubs, I just bring along a few essentials, a toothbrush, something to sleep in, but I always have my cymbals with me, and you know why?
I piatti sono sempre con me.
When it comes to cymbals, there are 2 kinds of drummers. Those who stick with a set of cymbals for a lifetime, and those who are always on the lookout for new sounds. Me, I'm the experimenting type.
Per quale ragione I piatti sono sempre con me?
And you know why? Because your cymbals are just like your family. It's good to have them around. When you get on stage and everything is new, from the drums to the tech's face, the only thing that makes you feel at home is your set of cymbals.
L'unica cosa che veramente è tua e ti fa sentire a casa tua sono i piatti.
I piatti suonati a piedi, lo ciao.
Talk about hi-hats. I can't tell you how many times I sat behind a drum set and had to tear down these cymbals from world-famous makers and mount my old UFIPs because I couldn't get a sound from the others.
Non c'era il suono